morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Monday, January 23rd, 2017.
Commissioner Repenning, James, Davis, and Jacinto are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please?
Good morning, Larry Hsu, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Brett McReynolds, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Shimei Gong with the Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Barry Bergren, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we received a speaker card under General Public Comment. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council Commentary section, and we also received speaker cards on all the items for today's agenda.
Okay, then we will close our Neighborhood Council category of commentary. Our first item of business, the approval of the meeting minutes from the meeting of January 4th, 2017. Is there a second to my motion to approve those meeting minutes? By Commissioners Davis and Repenning. Any objection? With that objection, those meeting minutes will be approved. Agenda item number 3, it's been requested by the Bureau to continue the item to Friday, February 17th, 2017. So we will continue agenda item number 3 to Friday, February 17th, 2017. Agenda item number 1 from the Bureau of Engineering, Council District 8, above-ground facility variance at 3991 South Brighton Avenue, recommending that the board first approve the request for a variance from the height limitation requirements of the above-ground facilities ordinance pursuant to Los Angeles Municipal Code section 62.08 VB and authorize Mobility LLC to install a 53-foot 1-inch high wood monopole in the public right-of-way adjacent to 3991 South Brighton Avenue. Mr. Spindler, there's a card in for, the card says the puppet, sir?
That's me.
Agenda item number 1.
Go ahead.
No. No on this goddamn project. No more monopoles. No more variances until the Neighborhood Integrity Initiative is passed. This constitutes a spot zoning, a spot variance for this bullshit involving 53-foot high monopoles. We have enough cell phone reception. Puppets get cell phone reception even in the rain. Well, except in the ghetto, like over there in East Van Nuys where Nuri gets her campaign donations. But in these rich areas, and this is in Marquise CD8, Marquise Harris Dawson, who's been named and served as a defendant in Mr. Spindler's federal case last week. He doesn't follow the Brown Act, so why should you give him anything? Until Marquise Harris Dawson answers his claim within 21 days of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, defer this item. Because if he can't take a fucking speaker card and throws it in the trash and says he lost it, then why do we give spot variances? Did he get campaign donations from Mobilite? Of course he did. It's all about campaign donations. Of course they got shook down. And the puppet doesn't like that. The puppet doesn't want any more of these polls. The puppet doesn't want any more public payoffs of our politicians. And we want Marquise to answer or default and give Mr. Spindler his fucking damages for those 2 illegal arrests and all the other bullshit that him and the puppet put up with.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. On number 1, Mr. Ledoux.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Ledoux. I work with Bureau of Engineering Central District. This is a mobility monopole, 53 feet 1 inch. It is in CD8 district. This is actually next to a Jack-in-the-Box parking lot. There's 3 lots that make up this Jack-in-the-Box property. The first 2 are labeled commercial. For some reason, the parking lot behind the Jack-in-the-Box, when I go on Navigate LA, says it's residential, but you are dealing with a commercial property. CD8 when I initially approached him with this a couple months ago, had not really dealt with cell tower applications up to this point. And I talked with Nell Washington, their planning deputy, and he just said, blanket denial on all of them. We have too many utility poles in the neighborhood already. Since that time, I have obviously talked with Mr. Washington, and Mobility has had several meetings with CD8 to educate them as to what they're doing and also what the legal framework is surrounding the permitting of cellular and utility installations in the public right-of-way, of which I did the same thing. I basically at the time did tell them that by doing a blanket denial, you place both the Bureau of Engineering and the Board of Public Works in a very hard spot, simply because there are a number of state, federal, as well as city regulations that place a lot of handicaps on us when it comes to this area. Since this time, they basically are okay with commercial properties, and this is next to commercial properties. On the residential properties, they've asked that Mobility produce the site, I should say the search rings, which is the area in which these antenna has to be in order to communicate effectively within their network, and Mobility has agreed to that. And so they are placing on hold any of the ones that are next to residential properties so that they have time to walk those areas with Mobility and come up with a location that they will then not be totally okay with, but they will have had their say in it. So on this particular one, since it's next to commercial, we're pressing forward with an approval of this variance for height request.
Any questions for Mr. Ledoux on number 1? Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Jeff, thanks for this report, for working with CD8, helping them to understand the ordinance that we're bound by and that we function within too. So the commercial ones we're going to move forward. The residential ones, that CD8 will be allowed to work with Mobility so that they'll have that opportunity.
That is correct.
To find a sweet spot. So I have no problems with this. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Jacinto. And I would just echo Commissioner Jacinto's point. Thank you, Jeff, for working with the council office. Thank you to the representative from Mobility as well for doing that. We always like to encourage collaboration and agreement, and sometimes it's compromise that gets us there. I don't have any other questions. Anybody else? Is there a motion on number 1? Commissioner Jacinto's made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1. I'll second it. Any objection? With that objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We will send number 1 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 2 in Council District 15, above-ground facility variance at 925 West Denny Street, recommending that the board approve the request for a variance from the height limitation requirements of the above-ground facilities ordinance pursuant to Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 62.08 VB, and authorize Mobility LLC to install a 53-foot, 1-inch high wood monopole in the public right-of-way adjacent to 925 West Denny Street. Mr. Spindler, you have a card in on number 2 for the puppet.
The first puppet or the second puppet? Oh, okay. So let's quote the good speech from the weekend, which applies to this item.
That insist that this march will never add up to anything. Fuck you.
Yay! Yay! That's right. Yes, Madonna said it right. Fuck you. That's right. Yes, and also Lily Allen and her famous song, Fuck You. Yes. We have a company once again raping and pillaging our land. And CD8, yes, that's good. Marquise Harris is on record of being against this thing. And these commercial properties, the puppet said, the one in the blue puppet said that it was a residential area in item 1. So if it's zoned residential, then you can't approve it, right? So you just make up shit as you go along. But CD15, I went down there with my friend here, And we went to the Harbor Planning Commission meeting and stopped the project underneath the freeway. They were going to build apartments right under the freeway, and we stopped it. And we're going to stop this poll because it's the same related bullshit that was about. I say move this item to the Planning Commission, the Harbor Planning Commission, and have a hearing on it first before you give them a variance. It's fair for puppets. It's fair for the puppet in the blue. He's only here making money and working, and we like people that work, so you can't blame him. And then, of course, the defendant, Marchese Harris Dawson, you should consult with him too, because he knows a lot about this company.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ledoux on number 2.
Once again, we have a mobility monopole, 53 feet, 1 inch tall. This is in a residential area. It's in CD 15, Joe Buscaino. Basically, they're staying neutral on this. I have received no emails or phone calls one way or the other, either pro or con on this, and nobody appealed it. And also, I will say that Mobility was unable to find a co-location spot for this, so that's why they're using a monopole.
Any questions on number 2? I don't have any questions on number 2. Commissioner Sintos made a motion for number 2. I'll second it. Along with Commissioner Davis. Any objection? With that objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issue sending 2 forthwith? We will send number 2 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 4. Agenda item number 4, Bureaus of Contract Administration and Engineering, also in Council District 15, requested acceptance of a contract, Lackme Avenue Storm Drain Project. First, accept the contract. Second, assess Colich & Sons LP with a penalty in the amount of $606 for the use of 1 unapproved other business enterprise subcontractor, and 3, instruct the Director, Office of Accounting, to disencumber the recommended city penalty in the amount of $606 from the project fund. Mr. Spindler, you have a card in on number 4 for the puppet.
Yes, that's right. See, it takes a while, but eventually you'll hear Lily Allen say, fuck you very much, because remember, we talked about Colich & Sons before, didn't we? And remember what happened the last time? You tried to find them and the puppet came. Yes, they reduced the fine. $600 this time? Isn't that a little low here? Isn't this the low-hanging fruit? I don't think Mr. Colich is opposing this because it's only $600, and to hire the attorney to look at the paperwork is $1,200. So I say, will you be willing to flip me, the puppet, a coin, double or nothing? How about it, guys? Yay! Let's flip double or nothing. Heads, you get $1,200. Tails, 0. How about it? Let's gamble. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler, for that. Mr. Smith on agenda item number 4. Oh, Ms. McGlinchey's here on number 4. Your reserved seat over there. Sometimes I don't get a glance, Ms. McGlinchey. Welcome.
Good morning. Linda McGlinchey, Bureau of Contract Administration. We are recommending that Colich & Sons LP be assessed $606 for the use of 1 approved OBE subcontractor. Specifically for this project, they had bid listed Hardy & Harper, Inc. to perform asphalt cap work totaling $5,720. Staff did confirm that this subcontractor performed $6,060. However, we also found that this subcontractor was never submitted or approved to perform work on this contract. Therefore, per the contract, any unapproved sub will result in a penalty of 10% of the subcontract amount. So that's how we come up with $606, 10% of the amount of work performed. The contractor was informed of our recommendation. They did not respond in any manner to our recommendation.
Okay, any questions on number 4? I don't have any questions on number 4. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4, seconded by Commissioners Repenning and Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Any issue sending number 4 forthwith? We will send number 4 forthwith. Thank you, Ms. McGlinchey. Agenda item number 5, Bureaus of Contract Administration and the Bureau of Engineering. Construction order acceptance for the sidewalk repair program. This is package number 14, requesting that we accept a construction order. On number 5, Mr. Spindler, you have a card in for your puppet there.
Yes, good. Yes, we support this. This is very good. This is not a fuck you item. This is good. And just remember, start fixing the worst sidewalks. Alameda from Temple to 7th Street. Fix that fucking sidewalk. Everybody there, the homeless are sleeping on it, tripping, and then they're falling down, and they're going to file claims for liability for the sidewalk. So I know none of you go to that area. Well, some of you used to go there to buy your habit. But I'm not going to talk about that today. No videos of that. So just fix the sidewalks on Alameda from Temple to 7th. It's urgent, absolutely urgent, forthwith on that fucking thing, especially after the rains. It's even cracked even worse. The homeless are sleeping on it. They depend on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. On number 5, Mr. Smith, I believe, on number 5.
Good morning, Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration, General Services Division. This contract was awarded by the board on June 23rd, 2015, and work was completed June 2nd, 2016. Work consisted of sidewalk repair and associated facility improvements around city facilities. There are no unresolved financial or property issues, and the Bureau recommends acceptance at this time.
Any questions on number 5? I don't have any questions on number 5. Commissioner Davis has made a motion on number 5, seconded by Commissioner Ascento. Any objection? With that objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Any issues sending it forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 6, Council District 15, Authority for Expenditure to Leverage Information Systems Incorporated. Approve and execute the authority for expenditure in the amount of $88,500 to implement a pilot program to evaluate the use of a surveillance camera system to monitor and enforce illegal dumping activities from October 1, 2016 through December 31, 2017, and authorize myself to execute a letter of agreement between Leverage Information Systems Incorporated and the City of Los Angeles. Mr. Spindler, on number 6, you have a card for your puppet there.
All right, here we go. This is a fuck you item.
We'll play it.
You do it.
Yes, that's right. Like the puppet said, a surveillance camera for $88,000. You know, you go all over these websites, they got kids going into Walmart pulling pranks with multiple HD cameras for, you could hire these guys that do these pranks on YouTube. $88,000. You could hire them for $1,000, $2,000 to do the same thing. They could be hiding there and catching the dumpers. See, there's people that'll do this work, but you guys want to spend $90,000 for some fancy schmancy fucking thing that's not going to work, because all the dumpers are going to know the cameras are there, so they'll just find another place to dump. You got to have people decoyed. They got to have people look like they're dumpers, and then when they dump, record the dumpers and get the license plate numbers and track them down. That's what you have to do. $88,000 for a camera system? This phone here does not cost $88,000. I don't know anything that costs $88,000 with a Wi-Fi connection and a 4G with a camera. This is complete robbery. This is robbery. This is not 1990. This is bullshit. Vote no on this bullshit item. It's absolute waste.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. On number 6 with an exclamation point. Raymond Rosati.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning.
Commissioners, Bureau Representative, City Attorney, and Mr. Executive Officer. My name is Raymond Rosati. I'm here for Bureau of Sanitation. I'm here to request for the approval and execution of the authority for expenditure in the amount of $88,500. This is for the pilot project for illegal dumping surveillance system.
Mr. Rosati, this was the pilot program for a surveillance camera system that we approved back in October, right? So now the letter agreement with the breakdown in costs is coming before us?
Yes,
Okay, go
that's
ahead.
letter agreement and authority for expenditure.
Right,
So
go ahead.
essentially, this is the exact same item. We just need the approval for the authority for expenditure.
Okay. Commissioner Davis?
Which area are we starting the pilot project in?
This is in CD15. The location is actually not publicly disclosed.
And
because,
I understand that. I understand that. Thank you.
And just for the record, I'll break down the costs as they are referenced in the terms of compensation. For the system, the hardware and software is $32,204.49. Installation and materials, $13,600 and change. Labor, $19,318. On-site and warranty support, $3,280. Freight, $1,022. Sales tax, $4,214. That's a total cost of $73,641.22. $14,858.78 is a contingency of 20%. So this is a contract ceiling. The actual costs, Mr. Rosati, may come in below that ceiling, and this is just the authority to expend up to that amount. But the actual cost will be something different?
Yes, that is correct.
Any questions or anything further from Mr. Rosati on this? Do you know when we will have a report on the results of the pilot program?
We will be providing a full report by the end of the one-year pilot program.
Okay, so at the end of the year?
Yes.
Okay. It might be good to get at 6 months.
Okay.
Let's see what data
Okay.
at 6 months is giving us.
We will have an internal report quarterly, but to the board, if you like a 6-month progress update, we can.
We've used this technology before. This is not the first time for governments or any other agency for that matter, to use technology to assist in identifying those who are dumping, right?
Yes.
So, and of past studies, the technology has been effective in terms of those who've used them before, because we're not the first one.
Yes.
Right? Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything further? Is there a motion by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Repenning? Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 6. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith, and we'll see you in 6 months with the data. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7, an authority for expenditure. The California Association of Sanitation Agencies requesting that we approve and execute the authority for expenditure in the amount of $26,780 for the California Association of Sanitation Agencies dues for the period of this calendar year, January 1, 2017 to December 31, 2017. The membership provides the Bureau of Sanitation with information and support on legislative and regulatory matters, provides opportunities for the Bureau of Sanitation personnel to attend conferences and other forums, to learn and collaborate on common issues facing agencies operating under publicly owned treatment works in California, On number 7, Mr. Spindler, you have a card for your character there.
Mr. President, before Mr. Spindler speaks on this item, just to note that we have, Mr. Spindler, you have 1 minute and 56 seconds left on your time.
Yes, well, I have to get upstairs to talk to David Rue's Committee on Health. Rue is really good councilman, and he depends on me to show up for his support of his committee. Anyway, so this whole thing, $27,000 fucking dollars for this. Now, does this include travel expenses for personnel to travel to these meetings? No. Does this include the council staff? Because you're going to have council staff that are going to go. And you know, when you do your Form 700s, like, for example, you look at one councilman from CD9, he likes to take a lot of trips to things like this. You know, $20,000 value, you know, hotel, lodgings, food, a rental car. You know, you don't take public transportation to Monterey Bay. Is this all this bullshit is? So make it $1. Tell them we will give you $1 for our membership dues because we're paying for everybody to travel to your meetings. And of course, this is a perk. We give this to our highest staff members as a perk so they can go play golf. Because all of this is about playing golf. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about your handicap. Not the handicap with people dying in the streets with these fucking sidewalks. No, it's about how many scores over par you get. So, this is about playing golf. And also, I want on here that you're going to hold the next meeting at Trump National Park Golf Course over there in Palos Verdes. Because you guys are so much like Trump, he wants to meet all of you. He likes you. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Diane Gilbert-Jones on number 7.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Execs. I'm Diane Gilbert-Jones, LA Sanitation, and I'm here to ask for your approval of this authority for expenditure for CASA. This is an organization that has provided a lot of great information and input for the city, and specifically for LA Sanitation. We have been involved, as you know, in the lawsuit with Kern County, and CASA was one of the agencies that was part of that litigation and provided actual testimony at our trial that we had back in Visalia earlier this year. Their CASA Biosolids Program Manager actually provided information to the judge related to biosolids use throughout the whole entire state of California and the various different agencies that would benefit from being able to land applied biosolids. Also, just on last week, myself and my assistant was at a conference that was put on by CASA that we received some great information concerning what the governor is about to do related to biosolids and also greenhouse gas and some of the projects they're looking at with using biogas from digesters that we actually have at our Hyperion and Terminal Island plant. It was actually a great conference because we were able to find out some information about some of the initiatives that the governor is actually planning to provide and some of the funding for those projects. So we would ask that you would approve this membership due for that organization.
Thank you, Diane. Any questions at all for Diane at all? Commissioner Repenning has made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 7, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we will approve agenda item number 7. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send number 7 forthwith.
Thank you.
I would add, Diane, just putting an exclamation point on our appreciation of the assistance in the Kern County lawsuit.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Agenda item number 8. Aggregate Material Services has transmitted the release of a stop notice in the amount of $44,302.07 for furnishing work, labor services, equipment, or material to export trucking of dirt to Advantage Demolition and Grading, an apparent subcontractor, in connection with the LAPD Police Academy Replacement Training Facility project. The contractor is Kemp Brothers Construction Incorporated. Mr. Spindler has a card in for his Puppet on number 8, Mr. Spindler. Does he have any time left?
Mr. President, his time is expired under the cumulative 10-minute
Okay.
rule.
Is there a second to my motion that we adopt that we receive agenda item number 8 forthwith by Commissioner Davis? Any objection? With that objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 9, Patriot Environmental Services has transmitted the release of a stop notice in the amount of $198,393.93 for removing fly ash and transporting waste for Diversified Demolition, an apparent subcontractor, in connection with the Hyperion Wastewater Treatment Plant Digester Gas Utilization Project. The contractor's Constellation New Energy Incorporated. There is a card by Mr. Spindler on number 9, but his time has expired. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 9, or that we receive agenda item number 9 forthwith? By Commissioner Ascento. Any objection? With that objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 10, Construction Laborers Trust Funds for Southern California Administrative Company, LLC, has transmitted a stop notice in the amount of $3,184.13 for performing labor to Steiny and Company Incorporated, an apparent subcontractor, in connection with the LAPD New Northeast Area Police Station. The contractor is Bernard's Brothers Incorporated. There's another speaker card from Mr. Spindler on number 10, whose time has expired. Is there a second to my motion that we receive agenda item number 10 forthwith? By Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? With that objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 11, the Sewers 5 quarterly update from the Bureau of Engineering. Salim Gharari? We have no card on number 11.
Yes, hi, my name is Salim Garawi. I'm with the Bureau of Engineering, Wastewater Conveyance Construction Division, Sewers Group, and I'm here to present the quarterly report, summary of the quarterly report to you. And what I'll be doing, I'll be going over the summary item by item, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So this is Sewers 5, and the contract term is 5 years. The contract award date was April 26, 2013. The contract effective start date is May 2nd, 2013. The contract expiration date is May 2nd, 2018. And I'm sorry, just to be clear, I'm on the second page of the report in front of you. The time expended to date is 1,339 days. The percentage of the time expended to date is 73.4%. The contract was awarded to 3 contractors, Matthew and Stewart Company Incorporated, and M&R Construction Incorporated, and Tomovich and Associates. However, back in March 19, 2014, the board adopted a city engineer's recommendation to terminate Sewers' contract with M&R Construction. So at this point, we have 2 contractors working on Sewers 5. The next line is their associated contract numbers. Construction orders issued to date is 516 for Matthew and Stewart, 17 for M&R, and 279 for Tomovich, for a total of 812 construction orders. The construction orders completed are 459 for Matthew and Stewart, 17 for M&R Construction, and 261 for Tomovich, for a total of 737 construction orders completed. The construction order amount is $11,352,431 for Matthew and Stewart Company, and $304,673 for M&R, $470,160 for Tomovich and Associates, for a total of $18,127,264. The fully executed change orders amount $1,806,093 $806,993 for Matthew and Stewart Company, $74,716 for M&R Construction, and $1,119,764 for Tomovich and Associate, for a total of $3,573. The total dollars expended is $13,158,524 for Matthew and Stewart, $379,389 for M&R, and $7,589,924 for Tomovich and Associate, for a total of $21,127,837 to date. And then following category is the contract cost ceilings. The contract cost ceiling is $25 million, which was increased by the board on August 31st, 2016, from $20 million, the original award amount. The Board of Public Works approved amount over $100,000 is $794,473. The city engineers approved construction orders under $100,000 is $17,332,791. The fully executed change order amounts are $3,573. Again, the total expended amount is $21,127,837, and the remaining balance is $3,872,000. $3,872,163. The percentage of the amount expended to date is 85%. And the total projects that are on hand is 864 projects. On the third page is the projects that were approved by the board for a revised budget. Under this past quarter, 2 projects were added from the previous quarter, projects under item 10 and 11 in the fourth quarter. And the following pages are a list of all the projects that are completed and in design and being or to be designed for the Sewers 5 contract. And that wraps up the report, and I'll be more than happy to answer any question.
Thank you. Commissioner Jacinto for Mr. Grow.
Thank you, Silent, for this report. Sewers 5. It's super expedited, means it's not emergency. It's a regular maintenance, correct, of our smaller sewers.
Correct. It's not emergency. It's an urgent repair.
Okay, and so that's good for infrastructure, especially as you know, as we move forward and taking care of it. We're at 75%. So we have 25% of the contract period to go, and we're at 85% utilization. We increased it by $5 million. Do you expect that, based on the cycle and the projected amount of work, that we'll be needing more money to complete this contract, sir?
No, I do not expect to be needing more money. I think the pace we're going with will allow us to complete the project with the designated budget. Additionally, Sewer 6, which is the next contract, is in the process of being approved, and we expect the contract to be awarded within the next 6 months. Based on the remaining budget and the pace of expenditure, we expect the money to last for another 8 to 9 months. So there will be an overlap, and there will be money remaining under Sewers 5 before it expires, and by the time Sewers 6 becomes effective and awarded.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Commissioner Davis.
So I just want to ask some basic questions about the operation of the sewer network that we have been using. This is Sewer 5, and obviously the goal was, in using this format, this concept, that the engineering bureau would save time, I guess, in organizing the sewer companies in that way. And so as we look at this quarterly report, we have talked about having used, I guess it was 85% capacity of those who are eligible to be a member of Sewer 5. And so as we look at the effectiveness of this system and concept, and then look at the capacity that we were able to achieve, are we satisfied with this quarterly report in terms of its effectiveness with the Bureau?
Yes, I certainly believe so. I think it's been very effective. We've had a good run over this past quarter, similarly to the previous quarters. We are on target with spending with the schedule of the projects requested by Bureau of Sanitation, and also with the expenditure. The projects are moving and being constructed in a prompt manner, as has been requested from the Bureau of Sanitation. In brief, yes, I believe it is very satisfactory per the Bureau of Engineering standards and set goals.
Right. Now, in terms of how we implement the agreement with the members of the Sewer 5 project, do we do it numerically in terms of how they qualified in the order that they did, or how do we choose them in terms of how we achieve the 85%? How did those companies get to be a part of the 85% as we look at what the remainder companies, who have yet to get work? What is that system is what I'm trying to understand.
We believe it's very good. Of course, if we had 3 contractors, would be even better. But unfortunately, at this point, we only have 2. In brief, Sewer 6, we have the same intention, and that is to select 3 contractors to award the projects to.
I see.
As far as awarding and the system we're using, I think that was your question.
Yes, sir.
So these contracts or Sewers 5 contract is a bid item contracts, and we choose the contractor with the lowest bid amount. However, when one contractor has multiple projects, the engineer has the discretion to award the contract to the next contractor with the lowest subsequent bid, so that, in the event one contractor constantly becomes the lower bidder, the other contractor will have a chance to get some projects and do some work.
All right, thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Anything further? I don't have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Iguarawa.
Thank you.
The oral report will be received. The only remaining item for this morning, Mr. Campos, is the general public comment?
That is correct.
All right, Mr. Spindler has a card on general public comment. Mr. Spindler on general public comment. He is not here, so we will then close general public comment. With the desk being cleared, we are adjourned this morning. Thank you.